Back? Oh, I think we're back. I love the fact that we're on the show Stop a Scene and the music came back. I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully, we get some of you back. I will. Do my best. I'm gonna wrap this up. Actually, I do want to show this this triad though, and kind of wrap up this triad concept. So this is an image. This is well, you can look at it, right? And so the question here, or the discussion piece, would be, and you know what? I'm going to leave this up. Zip, 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 zip. And then, Epi, get off. I know it's exciting. It's exciting in here. Go, go. Whoa. Shit is getting live over there with the McNabs. Oh, I see you, Epi. I see you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, let's play something. We'll play, oh, funny, there it is right there. All right, so we're going to do some flat work here, and I'm going to talk about what's happening. All right, so we're in recovery mode. So on this one, I'm going to declare really early. We'll get to see push, pull, block. So I threw, load, declare, right? That was it right there. On the field. I make the throw. So on this one, I load, declare really early. And I declare. Come down the line, real committed. I throw. Oh, oops. You can see him. Okay, I know exactly where. And so you can see here that I have simply declared, right? I'm not like pulling him. I'm not actively working him or anything, right? All I've done is turned my body in that direction. Right after you throw, load your disc and declare your next position, right? And then the dog, like you can see here, he completely you can see him, okay, dipped out right there. And now he was like, okay, I'll stay out here, Ron. I'll stay out here because it's obvious we're going this way. This is essentially pulling him, and he's hustling to get. So here's pull. You'll be able to contrast with a non-example where I don't pull. And so here comes the non-example. Load. Now notice, no declare, no load. And what we'll see with the non-example is that he's coming in a little apprehensively. He doesn't quite know where to go. It's slower. He's rocked back. You can see that oppositional pressure going on. We're going to go ahead and do this again, going in the counterclock direction. So I'll make the toss. Throw, and I'll turn, load, and now he's declare. So now, by the time he turns around here, guys, by the time he turns around, he now knows that we're playing on the right side of the screen. So here, he decides he's going that way. Or he decides that we are going that way. And I decided where we are going before he turned back. And I could do that because I employed that triad of throw, load, declare. Right, and now I'm pulling him. By declaring early, my dog knows what direction we're going to go. Here's that oppositional approach. So this time, I'm going to declare my position a little later. So I declared in this direction right now. You can see that front cross happens a little bit later. Right now, I'm in counterclock, so Epi's going to release and start coming in on this counterclock.
can see that he's counterclock. I've switched, and now he's switched directions, and now we're going clockwise for the...
Now, just with this idea of throw, load, declare, now the dog is looking to me after they make the catch for a signal of where we're going. And so now I'm deciding, okay, we're not just going to stop and we're not going to go the same direction. I'm going to change your direction, right?
Start coming in on this counterclock.
We're going to switch, and he's like, okay, Ron, I'll go with you.
I've switched, and now he's switched directions, and now we're going clockwise for the pass. And I'll show that again. You can see that I'm in counterclock.
So here is push, pull, block. Here I'm pulling.
Again, you can see that
I'm pushing, I'm blocking,
he's going to line
I'm pulling.
Clock and then switch on that front cross. And we get a good look at how
push, pull, block.
Cross. This time there'll be no cross. He's just going to take.
And there wasn't even really a pull there. I just let him go.
Offering a non-example to the pattern is really important to keep the dog honest. And here I am demonstrating some flat work to fetch it up.
Example, non-example, super, super powerful.
Your flat work. Okay, this time I'm going to wait a long time, and then I'm going to give him a fairly aggressive block. So I'm declared, and then I block him real hard and pull him around. And we'll see him declared and driving to the counterclock side. And then we'll see him getting slammed with that block and making a last second turn. At which point in time I start to pull him aggressively around the flank.
And hopefully you guys can see how this push, pull, block triad is all freaking over this.
I'm going to do that going in the other direction. So I'm standing in counter, and then I'm going to pull late. Happy's a little late to the party because I didn't switch and I didn't transition. He's drifting in, at which point in time I turn and pull. I'm waiting to turn and pull until he's committed to my direction.
To my direction, right? That was a bit inside baseball. If you come to class, I'll tell you a bunch of shit about what that rep right there. I don't want to get too deep for everybody. I'm already in danger of that at all times. Here, watch this push, pull, block.
Example, little front cross.
Push. So cool. So he comes in. I'm pushing on him right before that. As he's coming in, you see that I'm kind of pushing on him, right? And then I'm pulling. And now I'm going to push, block, pull.
Front cross, I'm pushing. I'll push him into the block, at which point in time I'll pull. And I'll pull him around and make the toss. So there we go. We got pushing, pulling, and blocking with examples and non-examples. Good man, Steve.
So hopefully that demonstrated the fact that I use triads all the time. They're pretty cool. They're useful, right? The block in there. In order to start, you have to, in order to make your dog go, you have to make him go right, left, and stop. Pass, flank, stop. We always get the pass and flank one and the right and left. We don't get the stop one, right? We don't get that third rail. We got to get the third rail so that we can move that third rail around and have like a three-dimensional approach. If we just have right and left with no stop, we can't make them run faster to the right and left. right? Because they're always going to run fast. We can't make them run slower to the right and left. We can't switch them from right and left, right? As soon as we add that stop in there and get the triad, now we can do the thing, right? Now we can adjust it. And I think it's really important. We always skip that third rail. And that third rail is really important. Hyzer, Anheuser, straight, going to a few more of these, right? That should be not my primary display. Notes. Distance, height, time. That's the image we saw with loot. Speed, angle, spin, right? We have angle and spin most of the time. It's not spinning enough. Ooh, not enough hyzer on it, right? But what we often, especially new players, don't throw into the equation that third rail of speed, right? So when you throw into the wind, the faster a disc goes, the less stable it gets, the more it wants to roll, right? And so there's a relationship, a direct relationship between between spin and stability and speed and stability. It's direct. The angle runs through speed and spin, right? And it's fucking super, it's literally like aeronautical engineering to do the math, right? Like it's crazy town. Gyroscope, a wing, and a missile object. Good luck doing the math on that. But we often think of the angle and spin, right? But what we don't think about is the speed. So if I throw too fast, it rolls. If I throw too slow, it fades and falls off to the left. It hyzers out, right? So I want to throw it just right. So we learn how to throw it just right. And then we learn how to throw it just right at like 40 yards, right? And then the wind comes, right? The reason that your disc rolls over in the wind is because the wind speed is added to the speed you're throwing. So if I normally throw 25 miles an hour and I'm thrown into a 20 mile an hour headwind, the disc is now going 45 miles an hour in relation to the wind. That speed is a critical thing. And pretty much everyone is just worried about spin and angle. As soon as we add that third rail, bang, we get to adjust it and we get to really understand it. So we get the solution and understanding with a triad. I don't want to give you guys the answers. I want to give you guys the tools to get the answers. And I want to give you guys the information that's going to give you all the answers. I don't give freebies. I don't give one-offs, right? I want you to not have to come back to me tomorrow and ask me the next step, right? I want you to be awesome at what you're doing and go, oh, I'm doing this. This is the next step, obviously, right? And it's totally possible with this stuff. Well, let's see. Overstall vault. I think we hit on that one. Front cross, rear cross, block or stop, probably. Front cross, rear cross, front, maybe. Front cross, rear cross, pose. I don't know. I was reaching for that. Again, off the top of my head, guys. I did this in about 3 or 4 minutes. Attention, dismissal, engagement. Attention plus dismissal equals engagement. If you are focused on attention, it's different than if you're focused on dismissal. And it's super interesting that way. And here we go back to this like kind of rotating triad. Cue drop, teeth off, pose, right? Cue drop, the teeth come off, I mark it, I pose. That's a cookie. We also have cue drop, teeth off, handler moves. I pull a basic flat work position, or I spring into action. Cue drop, teeth off, yes, I throw. Cue drop, teeth off, bite, right? Each of those has a use and will do much better than the other on a situation by situation basis. If all you have is yes roller, well then you're probably going to wind up getting in trouble with reward placement, right? And that's going to kill your rate of reinforcement, right? Where is it? Reward placement, cookies per minute criteria. It's probably also going to fuck up your criteria because the dog's always going to be running in, right? Whereas a bite would be awesome. And now we're just working here. I'm not having this crazy 50-yard balls out roller chase, right? So those four are pretty critical actually, and they're different. It's all cue drop teeth off cookie, or behavior. Cue behavior reinforcement, or you could go antecedent behavior consequence if you want to go like super duper, training nerd shit, right? But the idea of cue drop teeth off pose is completely different than cue drop teeth off roller, right? And we want to have a variety of reinforcers. We don't want to be a one-trick pony for our dog. They get bored. When every trick is a roller, no rollers are good enough. When every cookie is a roller, rollers are no longer awesome cookies, right? And we get in trouble with that all the time. You don't want your dog to game it, and you don't want your dog to get bored with it. We want our dog to shape us to make awesome things happen. Ideally, that's how it goes. Reward placement, distance, speed. Reward placement affects distance, and distance affects speed. Reward placement affects speed through distance. Short distance, well, you can throw that around how you want. Anyway, blah, 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 etc. Hopefully you can kind of get an idea of how that triad idea is working. And I'm going to deploy them on a problem-solving kind of basis. So you have this problem. I'm gonna lay out several triads and have them available as like a shortcut device and as a shortcut solution, flexible, so you can kind of tailor it to yourself. And then fingers crossed, the idea is you start to think like that yourself rather than me having to do it for you all the time, or some expert having to do it for you all the time. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. It's just like you run up against a wall, right? And then you got to contact somebody who can help you. If you get really good at moving your tools around and actually getting an idea of how they work and how they're applied towards things, which a shit ton of triads and just what you're doing should do. If that happens, you'll be way more able to troubleshoot and problem solve, and you'll know what you're doing. And that would be awesome if everybody knew what they were doing out there. We'd have many more happy Frisbee dogs and Frisbee dog handlers. A lot of frustration when things don't go the way that we want, right? And most of the time that's because we've got a missing piece of foundation. And now I'm going to just real quick, I'm going to be on for another 5 or 10 minutes unless chat gets super active. Ooh, I got booted off. Hang on. I am going to pull up and kind of, sorry, I'm having to pick one of my million friggin' login numbers or login passwords. Now I have to click to verify the bicycles. And I'm still clicking. There we go. Nope, wrong one. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, guys. Wow, there's a car. 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 Good. There's a fire hydrant. There's a fire hydrant. There's a fire hydrant. There's a fire hydrant. Here's a crosswalk. Here's a crosswalk. Here's a crosswalk. Here's a crosswalk. Oh, that's fucking funny. Sorry, I have to have that because Facebook people can't reach me. Restream. And I'm sorry, guys. I should probably play some music or something. Oh, dude. Make it stop. Buses. All right. Sorry, Facebook people. Okay. So, little sneak peek here. Ooh, how do I do this? Let me see. Boom. Oh yeah. No. This is gonna, I'm gonna ruin it. I'll pull all these up and I'll just throw this. Awesome. Thank you. I've been chitty-chatting along. Sorry, Sydney and whoever else is here. So on the right, we have, by the way, welcome to the Alchemical Lab. This is where we're going to talk about weird shit like this. Alchemy is not quite magic, not quite science, something right in between. I think it really fits. What we're trying to do here in a lot of ways, and it definitely fits the Cynefin framework. It's Cynefin. That is a Welsh word. It means, I think, habitat or habit or home. It's like a, I don't know. Anyway, so on the right we have clear and complicated. Those are machine type things. They're ordered systems, right? And that means that we can predict them in advance, right? We have control and constraints over them, and they are down here in the clear. It is known knowns. Up in the so we know all the things we need to know. Up in the complicated, it's things are known, but some things are going to be unknown unless we're expert, right? So we might need to consult an expert or something like that. Over here in the complex, we can predict before anything happens what will happen if we have expert knowledge. In the complex domain, we can't predict what will happen. We can only reverse engineer it by looking at it in the past. There are too many people, too many competing interests, too many angles. The situation won't go down the same way twice, exactly the same way twice. And lots of stuff that we do in Frisbee is in this complex domain, right? These are unordered systems or unordered domains over here. Chaos, obviously, you don't want to be in chaos. We're in chaos sometimes, it sucks, right? Complex is unordered, but we're able to control and operate within there.